Hello Summoners, welcome to another episode of Playing Perfectly with Augustus Caesar. And so this game, or this episode rather, I'm going over Champion Select and what you should do in Champion Select. So first of all, you should look at which side you're on, and you should also tell your team what roles you prefer to play. So in the beginning of the game, for example, I told my team, hi, I prefer to play top or jungle. So seeing that I'm second pick, I have a preference, so I have first pick, or rather, if my first pick doesn't, or the pick above me doesn't pick top, I'm going to pick top because I prefer that over jungle. So in this game, I was able to play top lane, as we can see. So you want to communicate your team what you would like to do. So I told my team I'd like to play top or jungle, and or I could fill. If you're a lower pick, you would definitely want to tell your team you can fill, if you indeed can, because you don't want to constrain your team to giving you what you want, because then they'll be forced to play something else just because you can't play something. So for example, if I can only play AD carry and my MF wanted to play AD carry, so if I can only play AD carry, I constrain my team, I kind of push everyone else aside, and I kind of put my priorities, or yeah, basically I make myself a higher priority than everybody else because I only play one thing. So you definitely want to be flexible, so you definitely want to tell your team you can play at least 2 things, if not 3 things. So, but at least 2. And then next, you want to look at the picks that you're at. So we are purple, which means that we pick our first and second pick are grouped up together, and their first pick is by themselves. Because they're blue side, they get first pick, first ban. And so they picked Zed. So the bans weren't really very important, and I can't really show you the bans because of League of Legends doesn't allow you to have another client open, a third-party client open while the client's on. So they picked Zed, and we were able to pick Twisted Fate Shen. So in this situation, it was very good that I was able to pick Shen, but I could have also, let's try to speed this up a little bit. So in this case, I picked Shen, which is very good, but I could have communicated to my banner, my team leader, to not ban Shen. If I wanted to play Shen this game, then I could always tell my leader, don't ban Shen. If I'm able to, I'd like to play him. So if you have a champion that might be able to slip through bans, so for example maybe Shen or sometimes Elise, Vi, Hecarim, who were very popular bans during the last patch, you can tell your team leader not to ban them, and basically just go into Champion Select with a plan. So this game, I didn't really come in with a particular pick. I didn't really expect to get Shen, and they gave me Shen. I've been performing pretty well on Shen recently. Maybe I'll ask for Shen more often. Maybe I'll tell my team leader to not ban Shen the next time I get the chance. But we'll see how that goes. So it was TF and Shen after Zed, and then Elise and Caitlyn. So already we see that it's Elise and Caitlyn, so I already know what my counter pick is. I already know well, not really counter pick, but I know what my other laner is. It's Elise. And then it's Caitlyn. So already I'm kind of working on my runes and masters. I already kind of have an idea of what I want to run because I'm going to gear mostly towards Elise. And so next was Janna and MF, and then it would be Taric and Shinzao. And then our Jarvan would be the last pick. So in this situation, we look at their team comp and we kind of have to optimize what we want. So for example, Shen. Shen is definitely going to go 921, or in this case I go 921, and we're going to optimize for our roots. And we'll position. Hello everyone, Augustus Caesar with the Masteries. So here in this game I was playing Shen, and I saw that they counterpicked me as Elise. So as my summoners, I've already chosen my summoners, Ignite Flash, so definitely want to run Improve Ignite Mastery. I want to run Sorcery for improved cooldowns because Shen doesn't really need very much attack speed. And then cooldowns are very important on Shen, so, and then I can either run into ability power and magic penetration, or physical damage and armor penetration. So I don't think Shen's auto attacks are very strong and not very appealing to me, so I'm going to run into AP, and 1 AP per level, and magic penetration. So then we're going to take a look at our defensive masteries. So here I know I definitely want it to be durable, so I'm going to get durability. I'm going to get lots of magic resist because I'm going to get the least. I'm going to get 1 point in hardiness because I'm going to be taking some auto attack harass. I want to take veteran scars, of course. I'm going to get unyielding for those auto attacks. The team doesn't have very many slows, so I'm going to just put 1 point here. I'm going to get into, so I can go into tenacious to get more tenacity from those stuns from Tarek and what's her face at least. And so then I can choose to either get Safeguard or another point of Relentless. So if I want to do more tower dives, I can put it here. But usually I'm not the kind of person tower dive, so I probably would put it just in Relentless to catch people more, as it's very important to catch people on Shen. Put 1 point to block for those auto attack harass, and put 1 point to honor guard because I'm going that deep in the tree already. So my mastery looks something like this. Now you can change them however you want, but I saw that they had a lot of slows and a lot of CCs, and so I wanted these 2 masteries to counteract that. So you kind of want to consider those things as your enchant select. Don't just pick any kind of cookie cutter masteries and kind of expect to get away with it. You really want to optimize your masteries for the matchup you're going against. And so then I'll do our runes. So this is my Low King, and we'll just go with this page, Old Wicked. So Old Wicked, I've named this page Old Wicked because this is the page Wicked used to run back in Season 1, I believe, for Aurelia. So in this page, I'm running, well, besides the attack damage, so I'm running attack damage reds to last hit better, and for a stronger early game. Magic penetration won't really do me much as Shen. It's just personal preference. So then I'm running armor, seals, pretty standard, and flat MR glyphs. And I usually don't run per levels at all. I usually run glyphs just because I don't like getting bursted at early levels and losing the lane. I really like to stay in lane, so this is the setup I'm running with. And I'm running health regeneration quints because this is part of what Wicked used to run. So I'm running health regeneration quints to counteract the harass that at least is going to deal on me. And Shen's regeneration is very good with Vorpal Blade, so as long as you can hit those Vorpal Blade procs with your auto attacks, you can regenerate a lot of health, plus your passive regeneration with health quintessences will be very good. And as you'll see, my first purchase was a Doran shield because I wanted the extra health regen, I wanted the extra HP so I could stay in lane, and also synergizes with my passive as well as my Vorpal Blade. So let's go back in there. Alright, so here we are. So as we noticed, I bought a Doran shield first, and so we have to consider a few things. So Zed jungle now, or is it not the Zed jungle, but rather Shinzao jungle. So I am intimidated by Shinzao's jungle, except as Shen, I believe I'm beefy enough to get away with it. Also, I knew that I'd be getting pushed in very early. So these are kind of things you have to consider before you get into the game. You have to consider what you're going to buy. You have to kind of make up your mind about what you're going to buy. So against certain matchups, mostly mid and bottom lane, or actually mid and top lane, will have to adjust their early purchases. So as Shen, I wanted lots of magic. I would rather have a lot of regeneration because I'm not going to get early kill on Elise. I just want to farm up, play this lane very passively. So I had confidence to build Doran shield for the health regeneration and to block her autos. So if you notice, her autos weren't doing well. Normally her autos would be doing very little, but she does have 78, pretty decent, but still yet. Getting regeneration, so you see regeneration early game helped me keep in lane, and helped me keep in lane thus far. So she's using her mana. She's probably gonna pop her flasks. I'm not really putting any damage on her because I don't have the confidence to go all in. Not really any point. Eventually in the late game, as long as I'm farming better than her, then in late game I believe that I can deter a lot of aggression, and globally I'm a lot more useful during the mid game and early game. So this Doran shield really paying off. It helped me stay in lane. As you can see, I'm full health. Not very many laners can play against Elise and come out in such great condition. So those are my purchases, and as I went back, I already knew I needed boots, I needed a Negatron, and I needed health for my Sunfire Cape. And I needed boards, and I needed pots. So you definitely want to consider those things. But let's try to stick more to Champion Select. So Champion Select, when you're in the loading screen, you should already be analyzing the enemy. You shouldn't just be fiddling with your thumbs or opening a browser waiting for the game to start up. You should be analyzing your matchups and thinking about how your matchup is going to do. So for example, Zed and TF. Zed versus Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate loses to a lot of laners, unless the player is very good, in my opinion. That's just my speculation of it. So unless Twisted Fate is very good, he's usually going to lose his lane. But his overall influence in the game is greater than the other mid laner. So against Zed, as long as Twisted Fate teleports around the map, he ganks a lot more, those clutch ganks, then he can do really well. But Zed is definitely going to beat him in lane. So if I know that Zed's going to beat Twisted Fate in lane, I should watch that lane. I should watch for when they hit 6, or when they hit 9, when their skills are very strong, and that Twisted Fate's going to die from him. So I can counter that kind of aggression and kind of deter that kind of aggression. Unfortunately, I was a little off pace with the game, and I wasn't paying attention about the matchups, and so I wasn't able to see that coming. But had I done it, I would have seen it coming and probably would have been able to directly respond to it, and that's what we want to do. So even if I'm not doing things, I am trying to practice these things through the series I'm working on and through seeing it in these episodes. So hopefully you guys we can all learn from the things I'm talking about. Hopefully I can learn from myself as well. So you want to analyze the matchup. So if you're a jungler, it's especially important. You want to analyze the matchups. If you think a lane's going to lose, you should help that lane out. So as you can tell, no one's been up in this lane for forever. No one's ever ganked me. Elisa's done fine, and Zed hasn't bothered ganking me at all either. And so I made a mistake on their part, because I'm going even with Elise in this lane, and I was going even with her right up until the point where Twisted Fate ganked her just now. That was the first kill that's occurred in this lane, and that's pretty good on my part, because if Shen goes even with your enemy laner, then you're not going to do very well, because Shen's presence is greater than Elise's, if you consider the presence on the whole map, just because Shen can teleport. And so here I'm going in, and so as you can see, overall presence is greater than Elise's. So here they're pushing top, and we're here bottom for Dragon. Had it been up, that's kind of awkward, but in any case, had it been up, we would have been able to get it. Unfortunately, it's not. So in certain positions, you should analyze the matchup. So you should also analyze how you should build. So for example, they have Zed, Elise, Caitlyn, Taric, and Shinza. So you should already analyze, okay, they have Elise, which does a lot of magic damage, which means I should probably get Megatron early, which I did. And they have a lot of physical damage. They have 4 physical damage dealers, or 3 rather, physical damage threats. And so I definitely want to get a Sunfire Cape. Maybe I want to get Warrior's Mail because Caitlyn and Shinzao. And perhaps I want to get, I don't know, some other things. Maybe like a random soulmate, things like that. And eventually, if I get strong enough, I want to be able to peel people. Maybe I want to get Frozen Mallet. So Frozen Mallet for some damage and for some utility, just to peel people off my teammates. And maybe eventually I want to get some cooldown so I can use my teleport more. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to build some cooldown until very late. But in general, you just want to analyze the matchup. So for example, if I were Jarvan, I would analyze that yes, they have a lot of physical damage on their team and they have some magic damage. But I don't really need to be worried about the magical damage since it's only one target. And I don't think that she's going to go on me. And so your Jarvan's job is kind of to soak up the damage, so it's kind of okay if it doesn't build magic damage. So instead you got a Locket, which is very good. We could get an Aegis just for the early game, which I'm not sure if anyone started. So I don't believe anyone started on it. Let's see. I believe I do. Maybe I asked my team if they want a bulk work, but probably not. They don't have one source of magic. But you want to analyze things like that. Just team minus each other. So if you're a team-oriented champion, such as Jarvan or Shen, then you definitely want to think about team-oriented items. So Jarvan is a Locket, and if someone can take it, I believe you, that would be really good. But no one has, which is alright. But Negus can really make all the difference. So those are just some examples of Sorry about that, everybody. Kind of spaced out there, but yep, those are just some examples of what you can do during champion select, and just overall what you can do during a loading screen, because that is a good 5 minutes you can spend analyzing the game and thinking about what you can do rather than just sit there and totally end up. And so hopefully, subscribe, like the video. Thanks for watching.